Tonight, I want to share with you something that changed the way I understand healing forever, and it is this. Your body is not broken, waiting to be fixed. Your body is consciousness, waiting to be corrected. Let me explain what I mean. When you understand this one principle, you will never look at sickness the same way again. Most people believe healing comes from outside themselves. They believe it comes from medicine, from doctors, from time, from luck. But I tell you now, every physical condition you have ever experienced first existed as a state of consciousness before it appeared in your body. This is not something to fear. This is something to celebrate. For if consciousness created the condition, consciousness can also uncreate it. Consider the words of Scripture. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Notice it doesn't say, so is his bank account, or so is his career. It says, so is he, meaning his very being, his body, his health, his entire experience of life flows from what he holds true as true in consciousness. Let me tell you about the moment I first understood this. I was sitting with my teacher, Abdullah, and I asked him, Neville, why do some prayers for healing work and some don't? He looked at me and said something I never forgot. He said, it is never the prayer that heals. It is the consciousness behind the prayer. You can say the same words 1,000 times and nothing changes, because words without consciousness are empty vessels. So tonight, let me teach you how to bless your body properly, not with hope, not with pleading, but with the same authority God used when he looked at his creation and called it good. First, you must understand that your body did not create itself independently. It is the servant of your consciousness. It has no power of its own to be sick or well. It simply reflects back to you whatever you have accepted as true about it. This means the condition you see in your body right now is not a life sentence. It is a message. And once you understand the message, you can revise it. Here is where most people go wrong. When they try to heal themselves through the mind, they speak words of health while secretly feeling the reality of illness. They say, I am healed, while their attention is fixed on the pain, the swelling, the diagnosis. But I tell you now, you cannot bless what you are still mentally rehearsing as broken. Let me give you the proper structure for a healing blessing. It begins the same way every self-blessing begins, with your I am, for your I am is God speaking as you. Then you declare not what you hope will happen, but what already is in truth. I am the picture of divine health. I am whole. I am strong. I am renewed. But you must feel these words as present fact, not future possibility. Let me share 3 principles for blessing your body that I have taught for years and watched work again and again. The first principle is this: stop describing your condition to yourself and to others. Every time you say, my back that always hurts, or my condition, or my diagnosis, you are re-blessing the very thing you want to be free of. For your words are seeds, and every repetition plants that seed deeper into the soil of your consciousness. Instead, when you feel the old pattern rising in your speech, interrupt it and say something else entirely. Say, I am renewing myself, even if in that moment you do not fully believe it yet. For the saying is the planting, and the believing follows the saying. It does not precede it. The second principle is this: stop asking your body for daily reports. Many of you check in with your pain the way you check a phone for notifications. You wake up and immediately ask, how do I feel today? And whatever answer your body gives you, you accept as final truth. But I tell you now, your body is not the authority on your condition. Your consciousness is the authority. Your body only obeys. Consider a servant who has been given confused instructions for years. He will act confused. You would not blame the servant. You would correct the instructions. This is what a healing blessing does. It corrects the instruction. The third principle is this: bless the healed version of yourself, not the healing process itself. This is subtle, so listen carefully. When you say, please let me be healed, or I am healing, you are still acknowledging distance between yourself and wholeness. You are speaking from the consciousness of process rather than the consciousness of arrival. Instead, speak as though the healing is already complete. Say, I am whole now, not I am becoming whole. The difference in feeling between these two statements is the difference between a seed and a harvest. Let me tell you about the scripture that changed how I understood this. By his stripes we are healed. Notice the tense. It does not say we will be healed. It says we are healed, already completed, already accomplished in consciousness. Your task is not to make healing happen. Your task is to accept what has already been finished in the spiritual realm and let it appear in the physical. Now, let me address something many of you are thinking right now. If I simply speak wholeness, am I supposed to ignore my doctor, stop taking my medicine, walk away from care? No. I am not teaching you to abandon wisdom. I am teaching you to bring a new consciousness into every choice you make. Care for your body from a place of wholeness rather than fear. That is the entire shift. Healing consciousness does not reject help. It simply removes the desperation from how you receive it. Let me share with you what I call the 4 stages of healing consciousness, because healing, like every act of creation, does not happen all at once. The first stage is acceptance. This is where you stop fighting the appearance and simply decide in your heart that wholeness is already true for you, not later, not eventually, now. The second stage is repetition without anxiety. This is where you continue speaking and feeling your blessing, not out of desperation, but out of quiet devotion, the way you would water a plant you already trust will grow. The third stage is forgetting. Yes, forgetting. This is the stage most people never reach because they keep checking on their blessing the way you would dig up a seed to see if roots have formed. But when a blessing has truly taken root in consciousness, you stop obsessing over it. You simply live from the assumption of wholeness. The fourth stage is evidence. This is where the outer body begins to catch up with what has already been settled inwardly. But by the time evidence arrives, you are no longer waiting for it because you have already been living as though it were true. Many of you want to skip straight to the fourth stage. You want evidence before you have done the inner work of acceptance. But healing does not work backward. It begins within and moves outward, always. Let me leave you with this before I go. There is no condition so fixed, so chronic, so long-standing that it exists beyond the reach of consciousness. For what consciousness has done, consciousness can undo. You are not your diagnosis. You are not your history. You are not the years you have carried a condition. You are the one who blesses. And what you bless in truth and feeling must, in time, reveal itself. So tonight, before you sleep, place your hand over whatever part of you needs renewing and simply say, "It is finished." Not, "It will be finished." It is finished. And let that be the last thought you carry into rest. For consciousness does its deepest work while you are unaware, and watching is not required. Only trust. Remember, dear friends, you were never asking your body to heal. You were only remembering what was already true. And isn't that worth carrying with you tonight? If this message touched something inside you, don't let this be the end of our journey. Subscribe to Stories and Quotes Be for more timeless wisdom, powerful stories, and inspiring ideas about consciousness, faith, imagination, and the transformation of your inner world. And if you believe that the thoughts and feelings you carry within can change the way you experience life, subscribe to Stories and Quotes Be and join us for the next story. Until then, carry this thought with you. You are not broken. You are not powerless. And your story is not finished. Sometimes the greatest transformation begins with a single thought you finally choose to believe. It is finished. See you in the next video.